This is Pops. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons, folks. I hope you're doing well. It is such a treat to be with you again, talking about cartoons, talking about all of these wonderful memories that we have. This is X-Men animated series. It's part one of the Phoenix Saga, which will actually be spread out over the course of 5 episodes. And for those of you that don't understand that, the Phoenix Saga is possibly one of the best written, most interesting elements in all of the Uncanny X-Men stories. It's drawn out more. I think it's over like 9 or 10 issues because it involves a lot more than what's been conveyed through media. If you get a chance to ever read a graphic novel or something like that of Phoenix Saga, it is truly fantastic. And what we have are like little breadcrumbs of things that I've kind of picked up from the first 2 episodes in season 3, where you have this unknown ship and it's a Shi'ar ship, basically. So Professor Xavier has already connected to this. And what he's doing is he's picking up visions, dreams, if you will. And in his sleep, you have like a connection to something going on, this space battle. He's sensing danger. He's having a communication with someone called Lilandra. Now, Lilandra is escaping from the Shi'ar. We know that she's in conflict with their emperor. And then there's Erik the Red, who is basically like the antagonist and it's like hijacked this station. So Professor in the beginning is getting all of this together and he realizes that they can use this space shuttle launch as a means to get to this station. And there's a scientist, Peter Corbo, who's, you know, connected and knows a little bit about Beast. They have a relationship. So there's at least some mechanisms to figure out how to get through. So the team rally, they go ahead and get over to the shuttle's base. They sneak their way inside. They use Jubilee as kind of like bait because they're going to use her to get caught and distract the guards. All of that actually works pretty well, by the way. Rogue is away on mission. Professor X is going to stay behind. They use Storm as the safety net here on Earth, and she saves Jubilee from the guards and arrest while everyone sneaks aboard the shuttle. Jean uses her powers to kind of create a false sense of reality for Dr. Corbo. So he thinks he sees the actual crewmen who've been knocked out and they're kind of like stored so that they can be safe, yet at the same time they can get through this mission. Now, they get out there and then they get into this conflict in this battle. And you have what is explained by Erik the Red, that this wormhole is how Lilandra is going to escape. And he's there to use a weapon that will create not only a trap for her, but could create other side effects and other risks to everyone else. Hence the reason that this is something the X-Men need to intervene about. They're able to actually have the ability to do this. The shuttle is kind of the mechanism to get there and get away because everything turns crazy. Of course, there's damage to this space station and everyone has to escape, right? Because when the destruction of all the equipment happens at the space station, everything is completely falling apart. So I just want to remind everybody again, by the way, we will have commercials at the end. And later after this video, we will do Batman. We'll do some other things like that. And I'm going to probably do, I don't know if I'm going to do 2 of these episodes at once. It's hard to know how to break the Phoenix Saga up. But this is basically the introduction and then what happens to Jean, hence the title Sacrifice, because she's the one that's going to be integral in figuring out how to save everyone. Because as the space station is erupting, they get away on the shuttle, which is already heavily damaged. You have a little bit of firepower and things that are going on back there. And the other people, the other X-Men, can hide inside. The shuttle has it's carrying like a solar probe, right? So it should be safe from all the radiation and everything like that. But there's no autopilot, right? So they have to have someone who can actually pilot it. And even though Cyclops wants to do it, Jean's like, no. And she uses her psychic abilities to learn how to fly, puts Scott to sleep. And she does this where she's going to have to fly it through the radiation of this Phoenix Force is what it's called. And it's basically like this comm trail that's coming there. There's no way to get around it. They're going to have to figure out how to get through it while everyone else kind of hides inside this solar probe. It is a very great way to communicate a very complicated story and concept of the Phoenix Saga. And I got to be honest, this is part of the reason I don't think it has been, and I'm not sure it ever will be adapted well for the screen or adapted into, live action, because it is not something that is real visually and simple to make work in a direct adaptation. But it's pretty great. I love it. It definitely continues. The next episode is called Dark Shroud. It's hard to believe animation was this good and serious for kids in 1994 when this aired. When we consider some of the tripe and juvenile nonsense that we get today, this stands so far above all of that. I know many of you are fans of the PHOENIX Saga, the Uncanny Xmen, the show itself. I mean, that do music is just incredible. So all of those elements kind of come into play when you rewatch a show like this and rewatch this. So this is, again, if you want to try to get where I'm at, if you're catching up, there is a playlist below, so you can kind of go through my different reactions as I'm kind of reacting, week to week, maybe 1 or 2 episodes at a time. But this is season 3. This is episode 3. It's part 1 of the PHOENIX Saga called Sacrifice. So if you want to kind of get caught up with me to know where I'm at, to kind of watch along, I do like an episode or 2 a week. And it is super fun to do this with you guys. What I also am enjoying is just so much feedback from you guys. I have to give a big thanks again. This last week, I was able to join Stone Loki and the Mornings of Mischief and this wonderful chat in Valhalla to talk about Saturday morning cartoons, talk about our love of animation, those kinds of things. So I'll try to make sure I remember to put a link in the description for that as well, so you can catch that hour-long discussion and interaction, which I think is just tremendous. And again, all the recommendations. I mean, my DMs blew up with people going, could you talk about this show? I would love to talk to you about this show. I'll help you do this. We'll do this. I mean, people are just really energized by, grabbing a hold of and enjoying this element of kind of a bygone time. Like, we don't really have Saturday morning cartoons. Like, once we got to Nickelodeon and Boomerang, it just kind of stopped happening. So with that, that's where I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to throw the commercials in here. Hopefully you're having a good time with this. Thank you again for watching. Hopefully see you next week. Talk to you again. I am Pops.
We'll be right back.
Gleaming in the morning light, home of Shi'ar shining bright. Crystal Castle.
You put it together. She was sold separately. You can pretend.
Magic things shine everywhere, 'cause it has a secret power. Lifted high on her throne, Shi'ar saves the world alone. The fate of the world safe in Crystal Castle, Princess of Power.
Crystal Castle, the source of all power. Shi'ar dolls sold separately. New from Mattel.
Even without his laser gun.
What's that?
Or his laser axe.
A robot!
Or his awesome power claw.
Roboto.
This unstoppable enemy of evil
Go get him, Roboto!
Roboto.
Yeah!
is the most powerful robot in the universe. Roboto. New from the Masters of the Universe collection. Other action figures each sold separately from Mattel.
Introducing the new Play-Doh Mop Top Hair Shop.
Well, they're the mop tops, the Play-Doh mop tops. Just turn the chair.
They grow Play-Doh hair.
They're the mop tops,
You can comb it, wave it, style it, or shave it.
the Play-Doh mop tops.
You can let it grow down to his toes.
They're the mop tops,
From the Play-Doh Mop Top
hair shop.
The Play-Doh Mop Top Hair Shop, sold with everything you see here. New from Kenner.
Get this! At school I found this magic lamp, and I wished for Disney's Aladdin for my Sega Genesis. It's like the movie! I got to battle sword-slashing thieves, and nasty palace guards, and ride a flying carpet. And I still have 2 more wishes. Prove it!
Sega Genesis and Disney's Aladdin game cartridge, each sold separately.
We'll be right back.
Mattel introduces the Battlestar Galactica collection. You can imagine the Viper launch station against the evil Cylons.
Colonial Viper's ready.
Spaceport open.
Look! Cylon Raiders! Launch first squadron. Missed one. Reset catapult. Viper's on target.
Viper launch station, not for use with other Battlestar Galactica vehicles. You put it together. New from Mattel.
During rush hour, I always get a seat.
A porcupine?
Call me Poppy.
Can we bear porcupines?
Can you bear sharing Kellogg's Sugar Corn Pop cereal?
Sugar corn pops? Do bears like them?
They've got a big, sweet, crunchy corn taste. It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Bears do like them.
Poppy, I like sharing Sugar Corn Pops. Point is, rush hour without them would be grisly.
Now be polite when you meet Mrs. Vanderlug, and do as you're told.
Mrs. Vanderlug!
It's time to have some fun.
Come on, down, get cheeses and have a ball. Let's do everything. Do as you're told. Let's jump that way. Jump this goal. Play one more. Jump, get cheeses.
Did you mind Mrs. Vanderlug? They did everything they were told.
Where a kid can be a kid.